G'day geeks, Chris here, and in this video I'm going to have a look at this fella. So this is Man-at-Arms from the Masters of the Universe movie Origins figure. So got this a couple of days ago from retail here in Australia. The only one I've seen in all my travels, so very happy to find him on the pegs here at retail. So let's open him up and see what he's all about. It is a very exciting day when you just happen to stumble across one of these figures on retail shelves, so it's lovely. So I actually picked up the Triclops recently as well from the same Master Universe movie Origins line. So as we know, Origins is the chunkier style bodies, very much like they were in the 80s, but just with more added articulation, which is fantastic. Obviously this is what Man-at-Arms looks like in the movie, which is just opened. I've seen it twice, love it. It's a bit silly in parts, but I'm very happy that we have a live-action Motu movie on the big screen. So yes, Man-at-Arms as portrayed by Idris Elba. We've got the familiar red rocks in the background. I'm glad that they carried that on, but with the new Castle Grayskull design, the Master of the Universe movie logo at the top. And we flip him over, and because this is the Australian or international edition, there's no text on the back whatsoever. So I think that's unique to the international editions. I believe the American editions have text, you know, like a bit of a bio and that kind of thing. So we've just got a lovely picture of Man-at-Arms in action here, again with the lovely Castle Grayskull in the background. And yes, let's open him up and let him breathe. Like all Motu Origins figures, movie or otherwise, they come with a little pamphlet, just one-sided, showing the parts that are removable. So that's another bonus feature, I guess, of the Origins figures, is that they are modular, so you can swap the parts and create your own characters if you like. So that's fabulous. So yes, as indicated, you can just kind of remove his waist. The belt comes off as well, and you can remove his arms and legs and all that kind of stuff. It's a lovely gold colour. It doesn't have the patina like the Chronicles figure does. It's obviously very clean, not as kind of dirty and worn like the Chronicles figure. Both of these shin guards look the same. Man, it looks like the thigh ports are slightly different as well. And obviously this is very reminiscent of the original vintage figure and Filmation cartoon. But yes, the green and the golds, they really pop. Green and gold is kind of Australia's colours, so that's nice. But yes, I was hoping to find this guy in the wild, so I'm glad I did. The thrill of the toy hunt. I think with his armour pieces, he really lends himself to the more chunky, exaggerated proportions of the Origins figures. And as I said, they're like the same kind of scale as the vintage figures, just with more articulation. So twist at the waist. I've just got single knees and elbows. And yes, and biceps, and the wrists as well, and the feet can move. So yeah, not bad articulation. These range anywhere from $19 to I think $26 here in Australia, depending where you get them from. Not bad detail and a pretty good likeness of Idris Elba there as well. That's one of the things I loved about the movie and the corresponding movie figures, is that they look just like the characters. You can look at this from a distance and know that this is definitely Man-at-Arms, so a pretty good looking figure. So it looks like not only are his parts, some of his parts removable, including the belt, so you can swap with other Origins characters. It looks like this part is removable, and potentially the gauntlet on the left as well, and it looks like this with the little ports on the back is removable as well. So that's cool, and I don't think anything on the legs is removable, no, apart from the actual, you know, boots themselves. But yes, he's somewhat limited in removing the armor. If you saw my Motu Chronicles video, you would have seen that you can pretty much take all of Duncan Man-at-Arms armor off to give him a more stripped down bare look. There is a more stripped down Duncan. He's had a hard day of battle and he's putting on his pajamas. He's going to have some hot cocoa and just relax by the fireplace and go over some battle plans. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that you can take all those parts off, and it's even good that they put in the extra detail on his undersuit there, which is pretty awesome front and back. It looks like it's slightly different greens on the limbs and the torso, but not too noticeable, especially with the armour on. So yes, this is the armour I took off, so that's his familiar chest piece. These slip over his boots there, and his belt, and just the stuff on the left arm as well. So yeah, quite a bit of pieces you can take off him, and he looks pretty good. But now let's armour him up and look at his accessories. So the two accessories that he comes with, the gun and the mace, he can just fit on his thighs a la Robocop. And if you've seen the movie, you know this is where he keeps them, with the gun on the right and the mace on the left. And this embiggens, to use a Simpsons term. The mace gets larger. So yes, very similar to what we see in the movie. Different from the Chronicle. So here we've just got a peg and a port on his thighs, and that just plugs in. So it's pretty good that you can store the armour. You can store the weapons on his armour like that. The mace is a slightly different colour from the shiny gold. But yes, obviously that means that the peg is always on there. So even when he's carrying it in his hands, the peg is still visible, I guess. And then on the other side, we have the little pistol, which he does use a few times in the movie. He doesn't have a trigger finger. He doesn't come with any extra hands. There's no mini comic. All of these Origins figures now just come with an accessory or two, plus the little pamphlet showing the modularity of the parts that we looked at. But the weapons are pretty detailed. So yeah, the mace looks just like we remember from the movie and the vintage figure. The gun is obviously new for the movie, but pretty cool. The futuristic sci-fi looking weapon. Both of these are just molded in one color, and as I said, they can hold them. You can hold them in either hand, and well, can he? I haven't tried this actually, so let's don't make a liar out of me, man-at-arms. So yes, there we go. But obviously, depending on which side you're displaying him, you can obviously see the port. So yes, not a problem. And you've got a couple of holes in the thighs as well, so that could be an issue for some. Let's whack the mace. The mace is slightly smaller than what we remember from the film or the Chronicles figure as well, but he can hold them pretty comfortably. So there we go, man-at-arms ready for action. Here is Man-at-Arms with the other Origins figures that have been released thus far. I think this might be all of them so far. So obviously from left to right we've got He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Spycore and Triclops, all sporting their movie designs, and they just look fantastic. And I do love the chunkier vintage aesthetic, and I love that they look just like we remember them. Spycore is a bit of a departure, but otherwise, yeah, they're pretty cool. So happy to have another Origins figure. Brings the total of the Origins movie figures for me now to 4. And here is the Origins Man-at-Arms with the Roboto, which is the power feature one. So that's the one where you twist his arm and the cannon pops out. There's a trap jaw as well, which is pretty great. I've got a video of both of those on my channel, and that's the core version of Teela. So he doesn't really scale well, as you can see, but he's pretty closely linked to these characters in the movie, so I thought I'd throw them together for this short comparison. Here is the Origins figure with the Masters of the Universe Chronicles figure, which is the larger 6-7 inch scale, greater articulation, more detail, more paint applications, that kind of thing. Obviously the Origins is a bit more of a simplified design and just single colours on a lot of the stuff, whereas the Man-at-Arms particularly has all this wonderful detail and texture and just wonderful patina on the armour. It's absolutely, this is one of my favourite figures. But yes, you can see this is definitely Man-at-Arms as we know him from the movie. Same accessories, same actor likeness of Idris Elba, and same removable parts for the most part. So yes, Origins, Chronicles. So there we have it, my friends, Masters of the Universe Man-at-Arms from the Origins movie collection. Lovely figure, some modular parts, some removable armour and 2 accessories. Pretty awesome. So yes, I just love the chunky aesthetic. Obviously it harkens back to our childhood with the vintage 5.5 vintage figures, which is awesome. So yes, hopefully you can find this on the shelves. I was very happy to find this lone Man-at-Arms on the peg in my local shops here in Western Australia. So I highly recommend grabbing all these toys, watching the movie if you haven't already. I've seen it a couple of times myself, and I just think it's awesome that there's a live action Motu movie in 2026 with 3 different associated toy lines. So we've got the Origins, which is this is a part of. We got the Core, which is the cheaper figures for the kids, but also for us adults, and the more deluxe articulation, collector friendly Chronicles line. So Origins, Core, and Chronicles, 3 lines, 1 movie. I don't know if that's ever happened before, so I'm pretty excited to grab all of these figures when I see them. Very happy. Man at Arms doing some awesome stuff with his weapons in the movie, and yeah, kind of a father figure to Adam He-Man as well. Very happy to have Idris Elba in plastic form here. Thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye, geeks.